Talk about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. We went live. Shout out to Chris and Kobe for jumping on. So I dedicated a video to it. Didn't watch the fight, seen some highlights of it. But with Jake Paul fight again, and I want to talk about the disgrace of boxing, all right? But I'm going to talk about that in the latter half. That's kind of what I really want to talk about. But, after what happened with Jake Paul, the ring was big. Joshua broke his jaw. I think that probably was a product of him opening his mouth. This is one thing, some pro boxers make that mistake where they had their mouth open. Keeping biting down on that mouth guard really makes you want to have to breathe through the nose. So you have to practice breathing through your nose. You gotta practice breathing through your nose. So that's the thing. So when you start keeping your mouth open while fighting, you get punched in the jaw, you're more susceptible to get it broken because for the most part, your jaw is not, your jaw is not bracing for a punch. So I think his jaw didn't probably get broke from the pure punch from Anthony Joshua. I think the punch that Joshua threw was a good shot. I mean, it's a heavyweight. But I don't really think he threw it with as much bad intentions that he really could have threw that shot with. That's my opinion. But in my humble opinion, Jake Paul not learning how to keep his bite down on that mouthpiece. I think that might have caused him to get his jaw broken just from looking at clips. Just from looking at the clips. So, like I said, that's how a lot of boxers' jaws get broken. A lot of times you possibly think you out of range, you get caught with a good shot. Biting down on, that jaw being loose, wow, easily broke. We bite down on that mouthpiece, more likely to be able to survive the blow without a fracture or without breaks. So that's my thought there. But, will he fight again? People say, they got I ain't get $100 million a piece. I can guarantee you that. They ain't get $100 million a piece. But he made some good money. I believe he got the foot in the door. And when he got his foot through the door, he did something that you always supposed to do. Create something else. That was the best thing he did. He started celebrity boxing. He created a lane for himself to get the females on. He's okay, I'm gonna put some females on here. I'm gonna sign some fighters. He created a promotional company. That's the best thing he did. He understood, I gotta get a team. I gotta branch this off. I can't just have this a mom and pop shit. Let me get this money on these fights. Let me make this bread on these fights. Let me make these bread on these fights. Okay? And I'm gonna turn around and I'm going to create a promotional company. He found the lane with Serrano and them. So guess what? He did what he's supposed to do. He got his company he got his foot in the door, got his company up there. They did their job with the Serrano and Katie Taylor fight. Now he got all the women of boxing up there for him. So he got the streaming income. He got into boxing, branched off that, did a business in boxing, promotional company, found the lane with the women. You know what I'm saying? Been on multiple networks. So guess what? He don't have to fight again. He did something that a large percentage of Americans could never do. A large percentage of the population, most guys get slapped and they run. It's flight. Of this generation, most people ain't taking their ass whooping like a man. They grabbing guns, they running. I already bring up the one video with the guy and his daughter was getting chased by the pit bull, and he left his daughter. Men are supposed to be brave. You know, men are supposed to be brave. You know? So that's something that you gotta, understand. It's a bravery thing. So he did something. He took a punch that a lot of dudes would never even take. Never get in the ring. And I respect that dude that got into the ring with what's the dude from the UK? The fighter that got in the ring with the dude from the UK. He was talking shit about him. Little white guy. He was like, yeah, you ain't gonna put the guy really pulled up to the gym. It wasn't Sonny Edwards that beat that dude up. I can't remember who it was. And he put them hands, old boy, he put them hands, but he took his ass whooping like a man. That's what I respected. He took his ass whooping like a man. Most guys, people laughing. He got beat up. Most of y'all couldn't take that punishment, bro. Most of y'all ain't never been in a street fight. I done been in street fights. Won some, lost some. Won more than I won. I won way more than I lost. Some niggas, I ain't never lost. They count as like a bitch counting her bodies. I don't count that one because I got, nigga, you lost. And sometimes, you can't fight every battle. Real talk. You can't fight every battle. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And sometimes you got to be like, you got it. The dudes that sit there and they look for a fight or they don't turn down the fade. Eventually they don't no longer be with us or they be in the penitentiary, right? But what he did, was cool. But on the flip side of it, a lot of y'all talk shit about the guy, but y'all supported it. So y'all supported the clown show. Y'all supported the clown show. That's what y'all did. So guess what? If the numbers do well, you think they ain't gonna start fucking with Aiden Ross? You think they ain't gonna start, kind of do they version of real celebrity death matches? You think they gonna continue to invest in real boxers? I get it. The boxers ain't doing they fair share. They not fighting the best. They giving you secondary, third, fourth, fifth rate, sixth rate fights. But I couldn't stoop to that low to watch that fight. I couldn't stoop to that low. Even remember Triple G fought Vanes Monterosian. And, niggas complained about it, but y'all still notice the thing about it. I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all don't ever pay attention to shit, they did this shit to like Terrence Crawford. They did this shit to a lot of fighters, right? And I get it, niggas need content, but at some point, where do you draw your morality line at? That's what I ask. At what point will you draw that morality line at? At the end of the day, but I'm gonna tell you what they do. A lot of these niggas, let's just see Bud, for example. Bud have a fight coming up. They won't speak about the fight all week. They might speak about the weigh-in. Then everybody after the fight got a prediction or got a reaction to the fight. They didn't talk about it Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday at the weigh-in. They wouldn't say nothing about the fight. But after the fight, everybody had a reaction video. They wasn't covering the press conferences unless they was credentialed. They wasn't producing prediction. Nobody produces prediction video. I'm one of the few people, and I don't really pay attention to the kickboxing community. Like, it's a couple guys that I watch as far as outside of the interview channels. You get to see the interview channels based on them going viral on X, or if you follow a couple Fight Hubs, YSM, shout out to Jamil, shout out to Philly. You see a couple of them, right? Fight Hype, they've been around forever. I remember they was producing. I remember you gonna run over the fucking barricade. Go ahead, dumbass. Go ahead. But I remember they was producing, they what you call it? Their website was the main thing, right? Before YouTube. But nonetheless, these dudes don't be doing prediction videos. And then everybody is undefeated with predictions, and people come over and say, well, you picked this guy, you picked that guy. Well, I told you how I got there. I didn't make a blanket prediction at the 10:50 mark of a 15-minute fucking video and say, and mix it in there. I put a name on it. And I'd be like, I ain't the one that studied like I used to study in boxing. This shit is, it's hard to predict because these niggas ain't, niggas is popping hot. You got Vada, you got people that's not active. So that's hard. Anytime you ain't in motion, you ain't active. If you ain't progressing, guess what? You regressing. But that's that. I mean, like, I'm continuing to look at it. No, where y'all draw the line at? But you know what? They don't draw the line anywhere. I say that first and foremost. They don't draw the line anywhere. Sean Tazell finally found out how I've been feeling since I had my YouTube channel. I heard him make a clip. Bruce did a video. He made a fucking clip. And he said, yeah, I said, you know, I stood up for the fighters to Dana White and TKO boxing, but no other boxers, you know, stood with me in public, all behind the scenes. They told me good job, man. And he's like, damn, you know, I could have possibly put my livelihood on the line. I been did that, Sean. Speaking my mind and keeping it in the bean and keeping it in 100 got my channel buried. Regardless, inside or outside of boxing, it got my channel buried. And I know they want me to stop producing content. They want me to quit, hold my numbers back. That got me buried for telling the truth. But you know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Because at least I lived in my truth. At least I ain't buffoon or raccoon or butter biscuit dance like Tukun the superstar or no shit like that. At least if I go down for being a real one, at least I can live with that. You know, at least I can live with that. So, yeah, at least I can live with that. So that's cool with me. But yeah, I feel him on that. I've been feeling like him on that, you know, ever since I've been telling the truth, ever since I did that George Floyd video. But, you know, it is what it is. But for the most part, where do y'all allegiance lie at? And I get it. Most of y'all allegiance just lie at drama, give you something because these fighters don't fight enough. But if you care about the sport of boxing, you care about the integrity of boxing, and that's what I've been about since A1 from day one. I've been drawing the line at bullshit like Triple G bullshit with Vanez. I've been drawing the line on these clown ass shits. I've been drawing the line on what if I don't really find an interest in the fight, I ain't watching it. I've been drawing the line there. So where y'all allegiance at? So when they keep giving you bullshit like this and y'all keep complaining about it, you keep consuming it. If you constantly gonna consume it, just say I fuck with it. And you know, it ain't no deception. You know, it's like y'all act like bitches. Y'all complain about the shit, but that's what y'all really want. Y'all just want drama and all that type of stuff. So that's where my allegiance lie to that, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link so you can find me everywhere. Peace.